Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over another wildcard draft for Game Week 31. Quite a few managers are playing it this week, so of course we want to bring you a couple of options that you can take a look at whilst playing your wildcard chip. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Leave a comment, are you wildcarding this week? Subscribe if you're brand new. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video, and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, this is another wildcard draft for Game Week 31. Again, I've already done one that I released like last week at the start of the international break that you can go and take a look at. But this is just another kind of suggestion if you are playing your wildcard this week. So, in goal, we have Gaeta and Schmeichel this time instead. I think in the last video I had like Pope and Foster. But yeah, let me just go over why I put Gaeta and Schmeichel in instead of Pope and Foster this time. So, Schmeichel is in here just because he's kind of the only solid Leicester defender, or, well, I know he's not a defender, he's a goalkeeper, but, you know, one of the back line, that is really kind of just solidified in the back line. You know, you got the likes of, I don't know, like Evans and stuff, and Justin, all these different defenders are coming back for Leicester. So there is going to be quite a bit of rotation at the back. Of course, the Mate was a really, really good option for quite a majority of the season, but that's just because of all the injuries and stuff. So he may potentially get rotated out now. But yeah, I think Schmeichel is just a nice option. He does double in 33 in Newcastle and Everton, one of the better doubles, I guess, in my opinion. And they also still have Norwich and Chelsea to reschedule as well. So quite a few fixtures in the horizon for Leicester players. And then I've also gone Gaeta as well, just simply because he has really, really nice fixtures towards the end of the season. Also still has Everton away to reschedule, but there's no red. I mean, Arsenal's going to be a tough game, but then Leicester, you know, potentially could win that game. Crystal Palace have been playing really, really well at the moment. And then Newcastle, Leeds, Southampton, Watford, 4 really nice fixtures there. Villa, and then United at home. And then, of course, like I say, still got to reschedule that Everton game. So, yeah, not bad at all. And on the games where, you know, Schmeichel, let's say you have Schmeichel for 31 at Man United away, you can literally just play Gaeta if you felt like more confident in the Crystal Palace defence than the Leicester defence. But, yeah, I mean, you know, when Schmeichel has to obviously play like Chelsea or whatever, or Tottenham, you can just have Gaeta play that instead. But yeah, I think he's just a nice backup keeper. Of course, you could go Foster if you did want to save a little bit more money. But I think those are two pretty solid keepers to have for the remainder of the season now, especially with Ramsdale potentially being out. We don't really know what's happening with that kind of injury situation. So yeah, if we get more news, then of course Ramsdale kind of comes back into the conversation. But for now, I think Schmeichel, Gaeta, Pope is also an okay option because of Game Week 31 and Game Week 33 doubles. And at the back, we have Tierney, Cancelo, James, Trent, and Amate. I know I just spoke about Amate, but the reason that I put him in this draft, not just because he's really, really cheap, but Leicester will have a lot of European games to play. They're not really going to get anything from the league this year, so they are going to just concentrate on European games. And so I think their better centre-backs, or the first-choice centre-backs, are probably going to play those European games. So that means that it's more likely for Amate to play in the Premier League, where they don't really have anything to play for. So that's why I've kind of put him into the team. Again, you could go with somebody else if you really wanted to, like a Livramento, who does double in 33. But I think if you've already played your bench boost, I think it's an okay gamble to have Amate into your team. And I know doubling up on Leicester defence is just never something I'd ever really think about doing, but you never know. It could be a nice little option, but really he's just kind of there to enable these other high-priced defenders. We've got Trent in. Again, we don't know the update on Trent yet. You could go Robertson if Trent is out for ages. We'll get you a little bit more money, but as of right now, I don't think it's really smart to sell Trent. I know of nearly like 200,000 people have sold him right now, but yeah, I wouldn't get rid of Trent until we get more news. Again, he could be back for the Watford game. You just don't know. Reece James in this team as well. You could go Rudiger, which would be a little bit safer in my opinion. Obviously, James is a much more exciting player, much more attacking player. But again, they've kind of solidified that third spot in the league. So you'd expect James to play more of the Champions League games and maybe less of the games in the Premier League. And I mean, Rudiger might even miss Premier League games as well. But I think that Reece James, especially because he is kind of nursing that injury as well, they don't really want to risk him in a game like, I don't know, Southampton away. They don't really need to play him in that game, whereas, you know, they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League, so they're going to obviously want to play that game instead with Reece James. And then we've got Cancelo as well. Again, Cancelo could potentially be rested for European games, but at the same time, there's only 1 point in the title race now, and of course, Liverpool and City still have to play each other, so I guess whoever wins, that's kind of like a 6-pointer really, you know, game. So whoever obviously wins that game has got a really nice chance of winning the rest, well, winning the Premier League this season. But yeah, Cancelo is just, I don't know, really nice option to have in your team. And I've also gone Tierney as well, just as an option into that Arsenal defense. If you don't have the money, Ben White, solid option as well. Tierney is just obviously a lot more attacking, but yeah, nothing wrong with going with Ben White either if you need the extra money. But yeah, I went for Ben White on my last draft, so I thought I'd go for Tierney on this one, but honestly, both are really good options. In midfield, I've gone with Saka, Ramsey, Barnes, Salah, and Gallagher. So Saka, again, just I think a really good option for the price point that he's currently on. Starting every single game, they've got doubles coming up, and Arsenal are just playing really good football at the moment. I've gone with Ramsey as well as a little bit more of an enabler. He is pretty much playing 90 every single game, week in and out. I know he does blank in 33, but of course, there's not many teams that do blank in 33. I think it's like Leeds, Wolves, Aston Villa, and then maybe someone else or something. So yeah, it's not like a massive blank game week at all, so you can just easily bench Ramsey that week. And I've gone with Barnes as well, just simply because they do double in 33, got a few more doubles in the future. You could go Maddison if you wanted to instead, and as well as that, instead of Saka, you could, I guess, go Martinelli, but I think Saka is a much better option than Martinelli. But yeah, instead of Barnes, you could go Maddison. Maddison is on like free kicks and stuff like that, so if you did want to go Maddison instead, completely understandable. But I've just put Barnes in this draft, but again, Maddison right there as well. Salah, of course, we don't really need to talk about him. He's just the GOAT of FPL. I've gone Gallagher as well, just simply because I think he's not really on the radar of a lot of people. He's still like 12.5% owned, but I think that's the majority of players that like just don't really play FPL anymore. That like kind of just stopped playing like halfway through the season or whatever. But I think Gallagher is just a nice option. Like, obviously just got into the England squad. It's going to be a boost of confidence. Crystal Palace playing really good football at the moment, and again, they've just not really got any tough fixtures apart from maybe United and Arsenal for the remainder of the season. So I think he's a really good option just to have. And again, I know that Gallagher's kind of been a little bit of a trap this season, and again, you could easily go with someone else, but when you're on a wild card, going for a punt is usually a little bit more fun, I guess. And I guess Gallagher at this point in time is kind of more of a punt, but again, you could go double Leicester if you really wanted to and get rid of Amate and have like Maddison and Barnes, or have someone like Rafinha who does blank in game week 33 but still obviously on pens and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, I thought Gallagher, with the fixtures that he's got, you know, he's having a pretty good season. I think he was an okay little option to have into this squad. And then up top we have Weghorst, Kane, and Adams. So yeah, Weghorst, I think if you're not wildcarding, you just have Jimenez. I think Jimenez to Weghorst is just a really nice transfer, to be fair. Weghorst has 2 doubles in the next 3 game weeks, and as well as that, he has Norwich sandwiched in between, and then potentially could be on pens as well. They've not had a penalty since Weghorst came into the squad, so if he is on penalties, then obviously that's really just nice for Weghorst. But yeah, easy transfer from Jimenez to Weghorst, and of course Jimenez blanks in 33 as well, so Jimenez should just be going out of like pretty much everybody's teams. You just don't need him in your team right now. So yeah, Weghorst in the team. Kane as well. Again, you could go Son if you wanted to. There's just not really that many strikers that are really doing much at the moment. Kane is obviously in really good form. I just think he is the best Spurs option to have into your team right now. You could have Kulusevski as well instead of Gallagher if you wanted to, but yeah, again, I'm just trying to make this wildcard draft a little bit different than the last one, but I think Kane there's just certain players that just have to be a staple in every single wildcard draft. I think if you don't have them, it is going to hurt you. And I know this draft doesn't have Son, but it is tough to have like Son and Kane and the likes of Salah, and then like really high priced defenders as well, like Cancelo, Trent, James in your team. It's difficult to get them all in unless you've just been really fortunate with like price rises and stuff throughout the season. And I've also gone with Adams as well. If you don't have the funds, you could go Broja, but yeah, Broja just seems to be the victim of a lot of rotation at the moment, whereas Adams seems to be playing just 90 every single game. He's been okay as well, like in terms of forwards this season, you know, he got 7, 9, 5, 6, 2, 2, 5, like for a forward, that's not that bad. Forwards have been very lackluster at the moment. A lot of them have been injured. A lot of them just haven't been scoring. There's not that many options. So I think Adams is an okay option. As well as that, he does double in 33 as well. So that's kind of just another wildcard draft that I thought I'd make for you guys if you are thinking of hitting the button this week. So I hope it has given you some ideas. Of course, you don't have to copy this at all. But hopefully it's given you a couple of, I don't know, interesting things to think about going into Game Week 31. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Leave a comment. Are you playing any chips this week? Subscribe if you're brand new. It's everything from me, though. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.